Friends, can you imagine how many years can a movie take to make? 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years? But the movie that I am going to explain today took not 5 to 6 years but 16 years to make. This movie, based on a true incident, is based on Najib and Hakim in the year 1993. To get rid of their life of poverty, both of them go to Gulf country to earn money, but what happened to them was something they had never imagined even in their dreams. At the beginning of the story, we see two brothers named Najib and Hakim at the airport. These two brothers have come to this country to earn money, but their owner does not come to pick them up at the airport, and it becomes evening. Then a man comes to them and asks for their passports and takes them to him. Najib asks for water from that man, but he refuses to give them water and asks them to sit in the back of the car. After a long journey, they reach a desert area, after which it becomes night. Najib and Hakim gets very upset after seeing the desert because he had come to work in the company. Hakim tries to convince him because he knew English and Hindi language and Najib can only speak Malayalam, but that man sends Hakim to another Arab sheikh and takes Najib with him. Hakim says, "Don't separate us." Najib tries to stop him a lot, then that man beats him badly and takes him with him in the car. On the way, stopping the car, that man asks Najib to get down from the car, where he introduces Najib to one of his men and leaves from there. Now that second man asks Najib to sleep. Najib is unable to understand anything and feels very lonely in the new country. Then his eyes fall on an old man. This old man is talking in Hindi language, but Najib does not know Hindi either. Najib asks for water from that old man by gestures. He shows the water tank and says, "Go there and drink water." Actually, Najib has not drunk water for many hours. There is a very strong wind blowing in the tent. Najib is shivering due to cold, so he goes inside the tent and sleeps. Then a man who is sleeping in the tent wakes up and wakes Najib up by kicking him and says, "How dare you sleep with me inside the tent?" He asks him to go outside and sleep. Now Najib comes outside and sleeps. In the morning, Najib wakes up and sees that the old man is milking the goats. He calls Najib to him and gives him the milk and says that give this milk to the owner. Najib thought that he is giving the milk to him to drink. So Najib starts drinking that milk. Seeing this, the old man snatches the milk from him and tells him by gestures that give this milk to the owner. Najib goes inside the tent and gives the milk to his owner. Then his owner tells him to go outside and learn to milk the goats. Najib falls at his feet and says that I have not come here to do all this. I have to go to work in the company. But that man does not understand anything, and he picks up Najib and throws him out of the tent. Then the same man comes there who had sent Najib here. Najib gives him his documents and the number of the company he has to go to, but that man tears the number and documents in front of him. After seeing this, Najib starts crying and feels helpless. Then his owner calls him for food. He gives him a thick roti which is half raw. Najib is very hungry and he starts eating the roti there itself, but because the roti is raw, it is not going down his throat. Then his owner sitting there tells him to soak the roti in water and eat it. After this, it becomes night and Najib goes to sleep behind the truck standing outside. Next morning, Najib goes to the bathroom. Then that man comes there and snatches his water from him and says that water is very expensive. After this, the water tanker owner comes there who is filling the tank there. Najib goes to that man and asks him for help. He asks for a way out of here. Meanwhile, that man sees him. That man gets very angry with Najib and he brings his gun and threatens to kill Najib. After beating Najib a lot, he leaves him there. At night, Najib goes to that old man and asks how long has it been since he came here. Then the old man says that once someone comes here, he cannot go back. The next morning, Najib's owner tells him to milk the goats because that old man is not visible anywhere. Najib has no experience of milking goats here, so the goats attack him, due to which he falls on the ground, but with the passage of time, Najib learns this work as well. One day, while working, Najib's eyes fall on the glass of a car. He becomes very disappointed after seeing his own face. His face has changed a lot. Najib is thinking that he will never be able to get out of here, so he tries to kill himself by jumping down the hill. He goes to the hill and looks down. That many vultures are watching a dead body. Najib goes down to see whose dead body it is, but when he goes down, this dead body is of none other than the same old man who used to work with him, who was thrown in the desert after death, so that the vultures can eat him by tearing him apart. Najib thinks that if I stay here, then the same will happen to me. Then Najib comes back and tries to run away from there the next morning, but his master comes to know about it. He chases him sitting on a camel and shoots. Hearing the sound of the bullet, Najib gets scared and stops there itself. His master beats him very badly and breaks one of his legs so that he cannot run away again. Now after this it becomes night and Najib drinks water by opening his hands with great difficulty. A lot of time passes here and we see that a lot of time has passed for Najib. One day he is grazing sheep in the desert. Then suddenly it starts raining. Najib takes shelter inside a cave with his goats. After some time he hears a voice and he comes out of the cave and goes towards that voice. At some distance he sees a man. This man is none other than Najib's brother Hakim. Both of them hug each other and cry a lot. Both of them cannot believe their eyes that they have been living a life of slavery for many years. Hakim tells that I was made to work at many places and was also tortured a lot. Then a car comes and stops from a distance. Hakim says that my master has come. After this Hakim leaves from there. Next morning when Najib is going with the camel, Hakim comes there and gives him a letter and leaves. Najib reads that letter in which it is written that where I work there is a man named Ibrahim who knows all the routes here and he is ready to help us. We can run away from here with his help. After a few days, Najib, Hakim, and Ibrahim meet at a place. Ibrahim tells that after a few days the elder master's daughter is getting married and everyone will go there. This day will be right for us to run away from here. After this, a lot of time passes and the wedding day comes. Najib's master tells him that I am going to a wedding for 2 days and you will take care of the sheep here. After his departure, Najib first takes a bath because he has not bathed for many months. After this, he wears the same clothes in which he had come here, but his pants had become very loose, so he ties a rope and wears the pants. The next day, Najib feeds the sheep and says that I am leaving from here and will never come back. Then Hakim and Ibrahim come there. After this, all three leave from here. Now it becomes night while traveling. All three are very tired. On the way, they see that a caravan is resting. Ibrahim goes to them for water, but the man sitting there starts firing at them and all three run away from there. After this, it becomes morning. Hakim and Najib are very thirsty. Hakim asks Ibrahim where the path is. There is only desert all around here. Then Ibrahim says that we have lost our way and are moving on the wrong side. After some time, Hakim sees that a camel is drinking water. He runs towards it like a madman. Ibrahim says that there is no water there. It is just your illusion. When Hakim reaches there, he sees that a dead camel is lying there. All three of them start moving forward again and stop at one place to offer namaz. Then many poisonous desert snakes come out of the sand. Ibrahim pulls Hakim and saves him, but Najib's leg is broken, due to which he is not able to run fast. So Ibrahim tells him not to move and stand quietly. Here the snake passes over Najib's feet. Najib's feet get blisters, due to which he cannot move forward. That is why Ibrahim takes out his jacket and ties it on his feet. After walking for some time, both these brothers fall again because they have not drunk water for many days. All of them are very thirsty, but Ibrahim gives courage to both of them. Hakim is very tired. Ibrahim lifts him on his shoulders, but after some time Najib also falls down. Both the brothers are unconscious and Ibrahim makes them drink his sweat. Then all three slowly move forward. After moving forward for some time, Hakim starts regaining consciousness. He sees the city. He starts running and shouts that we have reached. He starts eating sand due to hunger. Najib tries to hold him, but he pushes Najib and starts running from there and falls forward. Blood also starts coming out of his mouth. Najib tries to save his brother, but Hakim stops breathing. Then a dangerous storm comes in the desert. Ibrahim saves Najib and takes him forward, but both of them get caught in the storm. After some time the storm also stops. Ibrahim and Najib are alive. Najib stands up and calls his brother, whose dead body gets covered in the storm. Ibrahim tells Najib that if we have to stay alive, then we have to move forward. After this, both of them start moving forward, and while walking on the journey, they die. It becomes evening when they see a tree and water. Both of them run madly towards that direction, but Ibrahim stops Najib from drinking water because this water can be poisonous. Ibrahim wets a cloth and gives water to Najib and drinks it himself. There he also finds an empty bottle with the help of which he plays a tune. After some time they also see birds in the sky, which makes them understand which way they should go. Both of them start going towards the same direction where the birds were flying. Now it is about to be night and Najib's condition has become very bad. At night they sleep there. Next morning when Najib opens his eyes, he sees that Ibrahim is not there. Then he sees a water bottle there which Ibrahim has kept and gone. Now Najib moves ahead alone in the desert. Hunger and thirst have made him miserable. His leg is also paining a lot. He takes out the water bottle and drinks water. The next morning Najib is going ahead in the middle of the road when a car comes and stops near him. This car belongs to a sheik. The sheik makes him sit in his car and also gives him water to drink. The sheik comes to the city and drops Najib in front of an Indian hotel whose owner is very good, who helps lost people. He gives Najib a bath and also gets his hair cut. Najib's health is very bad. That's why he calls a doctor there and gets him treated. Najib rests the whole night. Now he is feeling quite better. The hotel owner tells Najib that through the address you have given, your family has been contacted. After this, he makes Najib talk to his family. Najib cries a lot while talking to his family. After this, Najib is taken to the police station so that after the completion of the process, he can be sent back to India. Actually, those who do not have documents are kept in jail for 3 months. Then some people come to the jail to identify those people who run away from their company or their country. Actually, in Arab, the masters identify their slaves and take them away. Then Najib sees the man who had taken him as a slave. He comes and stops near Najib. Here Najib thinks that the sheik will take him as a slave again. But the sheik puts his hand on his head and says that you ran away from here. It is okay if I had sponsored you, I would have taken you back to the desert and taught you a lesson, but you are not my called slave. I did not find anyone else, so I made you a slave. Saying this, the sheik leaves from there. Najib gets very scared. Then the man standing near him tells him that he did not sponsor you, that is why he left, but you came on a wrong visa, that is why you got trapped in his trap. But now you can go back to your home. Najib sits there and says he starts crying a lot. In the next scene we see that Najib is going towards the plane. Then he says that when someone goes abroad, he brings gifts for his family, but I have only the rest of my life to give to my wife and my son. With these lines, the movie ends. So friends, how did you like this story? I hope you liked this story. See you with another interesting story.